Pat, do you have a team for us? And if you do have a team, what order are they batting in?
Yes. Semi Konstas in for Marnus to open the batting, and Josh Inglis to take Smudge's place at 4. And then the rest is the same.
Thank you.
Yes. Pat, talk us through, I guess, Inglis at 4, just direct replacement for Steve?
Yeah, pretty much. Always like to not have too many moving parts. So we think everyone else is... not much info has changed from last week, really, so happy with everyone else, where everyone else is batting. So Semi's obviously an opener and kind of the available spot for Joshy this week is at number 4.
Could you see a scenario like in Sri Lanka where, you weren't there obviously, but Alex was thrown in ahead of Josh and Bo batted at 7, just sort of break up the left and right combinations?
Potentially, probably not this week. I think when the conditions get really extreme, you look at those options. So maybe later on in the series, if it's probably more spin friendly. I mean, if this really starts spinning, you're kind of open to anything, but I'd say unlikely this week.
A lot of the guys haven't played Test cricket here, you included. Who do you sort of go to as captain to sort of figure out how the game might play out, that kind of thing? I
mean, no one's really played a lot of Test cricket here. Even Gaz's first series was 13 years ago. I mean, the biggest things over here are normally the pitches, which again, no one's got. You might have played 1 or 2 tests. So, but training this week's been really good. Get a bit of a prep. We're training on the side wicket, so it might be similar to the game. You look at some of the data and the info over the years, and share a little bit of knowledge. But it's good. It's coming over here with a few unknowns. It's kind of, it's fun. You got to think on your feet.
Was Matt Kuhneman in the frame, the 2 spinners? How close was that?
Yeah, of course. I think conditions, we kind of don't really know what to expect, obviously, but feel like kind of the 3 quicks are better suited for this wicket.
Just playing Test cricket in the West Indies, Pat, a bit of a bucket list for you, or just what does that mean to you when everybody's sleeping back home?
That's a positive. It's cool. I mean, I think it's literally the furthest place from Australia on earth. Well, it seems like that way, travelling over here. But you hear all the stories. So many cricket fans on their bucket list to come and travel over here at least once. So to do it as a player, it's great. 3 Test match series as well. It's a relatively big series, and kicking off in Barbados, kind of one of those iconic West Indian venues, is great. So I'm really excited.
And just 10 days ago at Lord's, you spoke about this being a reset. So one is an forced change with Steve not there, but does it feel like a reset? A lot of new players playing in different positions in the batting lineup itself?
Yeah, I think I said back then, you look forward what the next couple of years are going to look like. So, I think part of that's a keenness to get Sam and Josh into the squad, into the playing 11, and start looking what the batting order might look like for the next couple of years. So, I think that's part of the reset, and your goals change a little bit as well. Obviously, we're starting on 0 points now, so. It's just a bit of kind of a mental reset. You block the last couple of years away, you start again.
Pat, any guidance to Sammy? Obviously back in the side, a lot of promise and gone away and worked at his game. What's your sort of message to him and what are you looking to get out of him this tour?
I think the main thing with Sammy is he's still really young. He's starting out his first-class career, so I think we're all happy to be a little bit more patient with someone like a Sammy who's a little bit younger than someone coming to the team who's really experienced. But he's been working really hard over the last few months. He's been soaking up lots of information from the other players and the coaches. So he's been really good. No particular message from me. It's all the things that we love about him. It's much of the same really. I know he's spoken about. Sometimes in that Indian series or even a couple of Shield matches where everything got a little bit fast on him, so he's been chatting about that and open with that. But really, it's he's shown in Shield cricket. He scored plenty of runs at times, so it's just more of his best. But no specific message.
And just managing the Marnus omission, not an easy conversation to have, but it seems like he's rolled his sleeves up this week. Where do you see his future at in this team?
Yeah, he's been great. Bundle of energy, helping out. And obviously in between that, working on his own game. So I think him at his best is well and truly an international standard Test batter. So we see him him at his best. If there's an opening, we could see him kind of fighting his way back into the Test team at some point. But yeah, obviously the focus now is giving a couple other guys a go. He's had a pretty good run and obviously didn't make the most of it as well as he would have liked. So offering that opportunity to kind of the next couple of guys.
Hey Pat, welcome back to Barbados. What do you expect of this West Indies team, and are you a bit surprised that Kemar Roach is not in the West Indies setup this time around?
Yeah, I mean, every time you see the West Indians play Test matches, Kemar's been there for the last 15 years, so it's a little bit different not seeing him there, but I think, in some ways, not overly sure what to expect. Even a couple of years back when we played these guys in Australia, it's about half the squad weren't there. It's a new squad, so like I said, I like that part of kind of Test cricket. You got a problem to solve really quickly when you're out there. But they've got some class fast bowlers, obviously new captain as well, so you don't always know what to expect.
Pat, what do you make of the pitch? Have you been able to read it so far?
I haven't had a look today yet, but I think it'll be a pretty good wicket. Hard to know exactly, maybe a little bit of spin later on in the game. Honestly, I got no idea outside of that.
And just the balls in this series, the West Indian Dukes balls, have you noticed anything different with them at training or anything like that?
Not overly. I think the pitch is probably the biggest difference to, say, England, where you're using the Dukes ball as well. Here it may be a little bit more abrasive. A little bit of swing early and then it seems to die off a little bit. But ball specific, not really.
Just going to ask about Smith. Have you spoken to him? Is he still looking likely for the second Test at this stage? Any chat there?
Yeah, hoping so. He's got a few return to play kind of protocols he's got to tick off while he's back home. I know the medical team have got a bit of a program for him. So no huge update. Hoping it goes well and he'll be back here kind of towards the end of the match. But he's got a few things to tick off first.
Just last from me, Cam Green made a big ton at number 4. Obviously, he's at 3 this week. Is he your 3? Do you see him as a 3? Is he embracing that at 3, given what happened in London the other week?
Yeah, we see that as a long-term option. I think going into last week, he's hitting the ball really well. He's moving really well. We had a Test match where it obviously didn't go to plan. I think he only placed 3 or 4 balls. So the message is not to look into that too much. We're really happy with where his game's placed, and I dare say he'll get a decent run at number 3.
Yeah, given what happened in January, do you see this as a bit of a revenge series, and have you guys found what it takes to deal with Shamar Joseph?
Oh, we'll wait and see. That was a great series a couple of years ago. Weren't quite up to scratch to that Gabba Test, and a couple of the West Indian guys, particularly Shamar, had a day out. So it's I'm sure the batter's been talking about how to manage him and counter that. But we'll wait and see. Again, it's a new cycle, so we're really keen to get off to a good start and kind of put ourselves at the top of that WTC.